Good morning, welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host Owen James, channel that brings you your team every single day. Guys, look, I don't think, we can't sugarcoat this. There is literally no sugarcoating of this one. Five in a row, worst run of home defeats in our club's history since 1872. Yes, Celtic fans, since 1872. Five games in a row without a victory at Ibrox. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Now, I'm going to level with you. Genuinely hate making these videos where there's nothing good to talk about. And it just seems this season that it's been way too often. It's been way too common. It has happened too many times now. And there is players, at this football club that need to start to stand up and take responsibility for their actions and to stand up and take responsibility for what is happening at this football club. Now, we'll talk a bit about Barry Ferguson shortly. And look, I think Barry was spot on with what he said. He asked the players, are you hurting as much as I am? Are you hurting as much as the fans are? And I'll tell you the answer to that question, Barry. No, they're not. I think there's a large proportion within our dressing room that genuinely couldn't give a fuck, that genuinely don't care, that genuinely are just happy to pick up their wages week in, week out, and genuinely could not give a damn whether we win, we lose, we draw. And the sad thing is that they seem to be think it's acceptable to turn it up and turn it on when they fancy. Now I'll tell you something: they will play very well on Thursday, and they probably will beat Bilbao because that's who they are, and that's the con men that they are. It's not acceptable. And you know what? Even if they do beat Bilbao on Thursday, everything is not forgiven because this is not good enough. It appears to me that there is an element within this dressing room, and we can probably name names, who genuinely believe that it is okay to pick and choose when to play, pick and choose when to turn up, pick and choose when to turn it on, and when not to turn it on. And what has hurt us domestically is this attitude that it seems that, we'll turn it when we fancy it, and to be honest with you, it's only Hibernian, it's only St Mirren, it's only Motherwell. We'll beat them no matter. It doesn't really matter, does it? We'll just beat them anyway. And it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that in football. That's not how football works. And we've seen that this season. And the other side of the city are laughing at us. And do you know what? I'd be laughing at them if the boot was on the other foot. But I'll tell you this for free. This is not acceptable. This is appalling today. This is absolutely fucking appalling. You watch that game today and you saw 11 individuals, include some of the subs, I suppose, 13, 14 individuals, who genuinely could not give a flying fuck what happened in that game. Um, who genuinely couldn't give a monkeys about what the outcome was. So many performances on that field today were just absolutely abject. Absolutely abject. And it's part of a wider problem. Let's briefly talk about the game and briefly talk about some of the performances. Jack Butland was absolutely dreadful. I've stuck up for Jack Butland this season. I like Jack Butland. I think he's a good goalkeeper most of the time, but this season he's been appalling. He's been absolutely shocking. And again, today he is to blame for the first goal. He is to blame for the initial goal, which gives them the lift, which gives them the performance. Oh, before I go on, before anyone accuses me of, being arrogant, whatever, well done, Hibs, today. You deserved your win. You played well. You deserved that victory. You were well organised. You showed more hunger, more fight. You've done brilliantly in the last 15, 16 games, however many it is you've unbeaten now. Absolute credit to you. Absolute credit to your manager. Well done, guys. You were brilliant today. Fantastic. Everything Rangers weren't. But getting back to Butland, the guy is having an absolute shocker at the moment. An absolute shocker. And he is to blame for at least a single goal every single game. Now, I get the argument, that everyone makes mistakes on a football field. Strikers make mistakes, midfielders make mistakes, defenders make mistakes. It's just that when a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it is highlighted because it usually ends in a goal. Whereas, if a fullback makes a mistake or a midfielder makes a mistake or a striker makes a mistake, it doesn't usually end the goal because, well, I suppose it can. But what I'm saying here is there's always an opportunity for someone else to bail that person out. Whereas when it's the keeper, they get highlighted. So, but I'm not making excuses for him. He's been shocking. He's been poor. Personal opinion, I'd play Mason. I agree with what Dave Edgar said. I'd play Mason Munn in the rest of the games this season. What have we got to lose? He ain't going to be any worse than Butland. Liam Kelly, for me, is not good enough for Rangers. He has proven that this season when he has been called upon. I think he was shocking Hibs away, was it Easter Road? He was appalling on crosses, real Dracula. I'd put Mason Munn in there. I think Mason's an excellent young goalkeeper. I don't think we've got anything else to lose. Even forget the Europa League. It's just domestically, stick him in. I mean, what have we got to lose? Seriously, what is there to lose? He cannot be any worse. He genuinely can't. I thought the back four today were appalling. I thought Tavernier was just pathetic today. I mean, I think Rangers Journal gave him 3 out of 10. I've read 2 out of 10 somewhere. He was absolutely awful today. Defensively all over the place. Going forward, just awful. Just genuinely an absolute joke. Suter was very, very average today. Sterling average. Kiefte again awful. Genuinely appalling. Genuinely shocking today. The midfield today I thought was poor. Didn't dominate the possession, didn't get control of the game. I'll tell you what, whoever comes in as the new manager, and let's not hold back on this one. It isn't going to be Barry Ferguson. Whoever is the new manager needs to make sure this team is less easy to play through, because at the moment we are so easy to play through. It's awful, genuinely pathetic. I mean, I don't think anyone gets pass marks for today. I don't think there's one performance you can sit there and say, yeah, he did all right today. He tried his heart out, gave it a bit, put a bit of effort in. Yeah, he did all right. Give him a bit of credit. Give him a bit of kudos for his performance. There's no one. There's literally no one today. Genuinely was no one today. I mean, people talk about Sterling possibly getting pass marks. I mean, yeah, he probably was the only defender that looked average today. And that's not saying much, is it? I don't know. Raskin was average today. 6 out of 10, I think. Barron, anonymous. Diamonde was just dreadful today. Dreadful. He turns up in Europe, doesn't turn up domestically. Cherney, I think, is still getting over his injury. Igerman, Igerman has got a lot of criticism, but I mean, again, he was playing out wide left. He's not a fucking winger. He's a centre forward. Play him up front, especially as our centre forward is fucking terrible. Cyril Dessers is the biggest joke in Scottish football. I mean, I'm sorry, and I know this is going to upset people, and I know people defend him out there. What about his goal scoring record? I'm sorry, yeah, he scored 22 goals, 23 goals for Rangers. So he fucking should. It's Rangers. We create 20, 30 chances a game. Any striker up there is going to score that many games if he plays in a consistent number of games. If Danilo had been fit all season, and look, if he'd been fit all season, yes, he would have 25, 30 goals by now. Because that's the amount of chances we create. So don't give me this bullshit that he's a good striker because he scored 22, 23 goals. Absolute shite. He plays for Rangers, he gets lots of chances, he scores goals. I'll tell you something, in games where it's tough going, we don't get as many chances. Celtic away, Fenerbahce, he does not score enough goals. The home game at Ibrox, absolutely anonymous. Parkhead away, anonymous. Sorry, he's shit. Anyone who says he's not shit, don't know football. You genuinely don't know the game. That man has scored 1 goal out of 18 attempts in the last 2 games. If you think that's acceptable for a Rangers striker, it shows how far standards have fallen at this football club. Cyril Dessers is part of the problem. He's not the whole problem. Tav is part of the problem. The shit defence is part of the problem. The manager is part of the problem. The board are part of the problem. The squad, the list goes on. But he is a joke. He is an absolute joke. And every time he runs on that pitch, I just despair. I'll be honest with you. I absolutely fucking hate him. I think he's rubbish. And I think it's a disgrace that he wears our shirt. And he should never play for this football club again. Not after that performance today. 4 chances that man had today to score a goal. The one where he gets slotted in, he blazes it over the crossbar. He should at least work the goalkeeper. He doesn't do that. And like I said, watch those chances back. Watch the last 18 attempts he's got, and he's scored 1 goal out of the last 18 attempts. And you can give me, Haaland misses chances. Salah misses chances. Saka misses chances. This player misses chances. Yeah, they don't miss that many chances. If you gave Alf-Inge Haaland 18 chances, I guarantee he'd score more than 1 goal. Okay, he'd probably score, 10? At least. If you gave Mo Salah 18 chances, he wouldn't only score 1 goal. If you gave Lawrence Shankland 18 good chances like he had, he would score more than 1 goal. I'm sorry, but Dessers is a joke. The guy is an absolute abject joke of a footballer. And he has to be sold in the summer. The guy has got to be got rid of. It really genuinely has. And I will not have this argument back that he scored 22, 23 goals this season. Yes, because he plays for Rangers and he has a lot of chances. Look at who he scored goals against. Very few of those goals have come against tough opposition. The vast majority of them have come against shit teams or in games where the game has been over when he scored goals. He scored the winner against Dundee. It's fucking Dundee. It's not Barcelona, Celtic. It's not even fucking Aberdeen, is it? I mean, come on, get over it. The guy's a joke. The guy's a joke. You cannot afford to have a striker who on 18 chances scores 1 goal. And, look, I was watching Heart and Hand. People are going to slag me off and slaughter me for this. Fine, do it. Do what you want. I don't care. Genuinely don't give a monkeys because, look, it's a game of opinions. But, look, at the end of the day, you listen to other people talk about him. It's David Edgar today on Heart and Hand. He's not good enough. That's David Edgar. Heart and Hand. That's one of the main club partners. Just saying genuinely, he ain't good enough. He genuinely isn't good enough. CJ Novo saying he isn't good enough. I mean, what annoyed me today was we've got Danilo on the park and we've got Hamza on the park, who are both better strikers than Dessers. Goals per game, goals per minute are actually better. Look over their careers. And they're stuck out wide. So Dessers can stay in the middle. So the worst striker we've got at the club, who has misses chance after chance after chance, can stay in the middle. Whilst two strikers who probably, Hamza probably gets 6 of those 18 at least. Danilo probably gets 6, 7 of those 18 at least if he has those chances. And they're stuck out wide, accommodating the worst striker. Just awful, genuinely awful. Look, I'll level with you. I love Barry Ferguson. I think the guy is fantastic. He's a legend, an absolute legend, a proper legend. And he has come in to stabilise the club or as close as he can to it, but he is not the man for the job. He just isn't. The problems for me at this football club are far bigger than someone like Barry Ferguson can handle. We need someone who has managerial experience, who has the experience to be able to turn this round, has the experience to be able to put in a decent style of football. And Jesus, if I hear one more time it has to be a Rangers man, I swear to God I'm going to throw up. It doesn't have to be a Rangers man. It has to be the best possible man for the job. The last manager to win a league title for Rangers was Steven Gerrard, not a Rangers man. Dick Advocat won countless trophies at this football club, not a Rangers man. Graham Souness is a Liverpool man. He's not a Rangers man. I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter. Yes, Walter Smith was a Rangers man. Get that. Okay, understand that in recent history. And we can go back over Struth and Waddle and Scott Simon and all those guys. But in more recent history, okay, it doesn't have to be a Rangers man because at the end of the day, it's got to be someone who's good at their job, the best possible person for their job. And if they're English, they're Scottish, they're Irish, they're Welsh, they're German, they're French, I don't give a monkeys as long as they do the best possible job for this football club. And the recruitment's got to be right. They've got to bring in the right players to suit that manager and his style and the way he wants to take this football club forward. You look at it at the moment and there's a lot of players, like I said, where this football club is too big for them, way too big for them. And they are not cutting the mustard in the slightest. Like I said, you go through that starting 11 today. Butland, not good enough. Tavernier, awful, not good enough. Suter stays. He's all right. He's a decent defender. Sterling, decent defender. If you play him a right back, he's the best right back at the club. Yefte, awful. Barron, a squad player. Raskin is a good player. Diamonde, poor. Cheney, on his day, when he's fit, good player. Dessers, joke. Igerman, play him through the middle, in his position, good player. Bayrami, joke. There's too many. There's too many to mention. There's a lot needs to be done to this football club to get it back into a position to actually win trophies next season. And it needs to win trophies next season. We can't allow them to pull any further ahead of us. And what the shock of it is, or the disgrace of it is, guys, is in 2 games' time, they could be celebrating the league title before the split even goes down. It's awful. It's not acceptable. And like I said, Barry's not the man for the job. He can't do it. Look, this is the situation, guys. And let's face facts. A manager comes in, replaces a manager who isn't liked quite clearly, who isn't doing his job, who isn't doing a good job, who isn't motivating the team. A new manager comes in, new voice, initial new manager bounce, team starts playing a bit, they do well. It happens at every club. Team starts to drop off a little bit. Manager goes mental at them at half time. It scares them, it shocks them into action. They go out and play. Next game, they go out, they play, they're poor. Half time, manager goes mental, shocks them a little bit less, but still shocks them enough. They go out and play. Next game, again, they start poorly. Half time, manager goes apeshit at them again. Players just think, for fuck's sake, I wish he'd shut up. And that's how it works these days, guys. That doesn't work. Look, absolutely being a hairdryer only works a limited number of times. When you keep doing it game after game after game, which Barry Ferguson is quite clearly having to do, it loses its impact. It doesn't work. Now, look, I've never coached at the highest level, but I have coached. And I'll tell you this. In all my time coaching, I only once did a hairdryer on a team, because I knew that at that point it was needed. We were 3-0 down in a cup semi-final. And I went mad. And we came back and won 7-3. But the rest of the time, it wouldn't work. Because if I'd done it consistently, it would have lost its impact. And it does lose its impact. And you know what? It's okay in the short term. And it works in the short term. But the long term, it isn't going to work. And there's too many times now where we're starting games poorly. We're 2 goals down. We're conceding too many goals. You know, we're not looking like a team that is playing to a high standard. Now, yes, I know some of that is down to the players, and I'm not saying it's not down to the players, because yes, I do think the players have a large part to play in this. Of course I do. But Barry Ferguson is not the man for this job. At the end of the day, we need an experienced manager to come in, stabilise this and move this forward, or else we're only going to head backwards, and in 6-8 months time we're going to have the same conversation. Oh God, Barry Ferguson needs to be sacked. And I don't want that for him. I don't want that for him, because the guy's a legend. The guy's a legend. It may be that, he's sitting there tonight and he's thinking, I don't need this. I genuinely don't need this full time. I don't want it. He might be. I don't know. I don't know what's going through his mind. I can't read minds, unfortunately. But look, that today is not, or yesterday was not acceptable. It was so bad. 5 straight. And there's so many players, like I said. Now, Barry's promised changes for Thursday night. I want to see some of the kids get in there. I want to see Bailey Rice play. I want to see Finley Curtis play. I want to see Mason Munn play. I want to see some of the young lads in there, because I'll tell you something, they won't do any worse than the first team. And Ciala back in. Get some of the younger players in. I'll tell you something, they'll show a lot more heart, a lot more fight, a lot more bottle than some of these more experienced pros will. Guarantee it. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation, guys. I was on the way out. Please like, comment, subscribe and share. And remember always, even in the tough times, we are the people.